I am a male student from India, presently studying in New York. However, before moving here I was in another university in Texas, where my experience was less than pleasant. While I was a student in University of Texas, Brownsville, between January and December 2011, I was regularly hazed upon by a male PhD student from Sri Lanka, called Shian Weeratunga, who kept asking me to include him in a startup I was planning to launch. He also carried out multiple sexually offensive acts in my house, including gropery of a female student from South America. One evening the Sri Lankan student and the Latin American woman came to my house with alcohol, kept imploring me to drink more and more, and finally when I was too sloshed to protest, the two of them proceeded to my bedroom. As if that was not enough, one night the Sri Lankan student cornered me outside my house, and with much name-calling, finger-pointing, and shouting, physically assaulted me. After the assault, I thought I had enough from Shian and complained to the college coordinator of judicial affairs, David Mariscal, first submitting a brief report on the 19th of September 2011 and then a full complaint on the 2nd of October 2011. Upon receiving the first of the complaints, Mr. Mariscal replied with the following: even though I had asked him to sit in judgment because your allegation of harassment of you by Mr. Weeratunga is so serious, I am compelled to respond in some form. I have copies of all emails to and from the college. My initial complaint, September 19th, was only against Mr. Weeratunga, and did not directly implicate anyone else. However, once the Hispanic female student, the one who got groped, and participated in the bedroom action, came into the picture, the adjudicator, David Mariscal, made a volte-face and shut the case up in a few hours, of getting the full complaint on the 2nd of October, conducting only a shoddy evaluation. The adjudicator, for example, refused to call Shian to ask and verify all the charges I leveled against him. In exonerating Shian, the adjudicator put the well-being of many students of UT Brownsville at risk. I was denied a fair and full investigation, which is my right, and was instead threatened verbally with suspension and told by David Mariscal not to mention these incidents ever again. They cannot take away anyone's freedom of speech in USA. This directive, and the about turn, and shoddiness and haste with which the investigation was carried out, made by a Hispanic adjudicator of a principally Hispanic institution, after a Hispanic woman came into the picture, has the full signature of a cover-up. I suspect the adjudicator had already decided to exonerate Mr. Weeratunga and intimidate me to keep things secret, even before receiving the full, second, report, for the sake of the female student's reputation. I had to lapse into medical trauma, noted by the college medical counselor Miss Liebscher, since the day of this misjudgment. Often I had to run into my assailant in college and had to rush to the medical facility for emergency therapy. Currently I am diagnosed with PTSD and have to take counseling and medicines. After suffering this way, I had to leave UT Brownsville. I have since then earned my master's from another college in Texas and am doing my PhD in a NYC-based university. I have also gone back to Brownsville and filed a case for assault against Mr. Weeratunga, and made the Indian consulate in Houston aware of these developments. The consulate promised to take up the matter with the college. I have the audio recording to prove it, but has not done so. I also contacted many Indian organizations and Indian media agencies with no success except one NYC-based Indian community newspaper, which published an account of my inexperiences. The story does not end here. When I tried to file for a U visa, for which I needed the Brownsville Police Department to sign a legal document, the police officer Roman Pineda refused. The police signs the document, depending on whether I help the law authorities or not. Being that I have a police report, I obviously have. However, Pineda first told me on the phone that he refuses to sign the document, since the police have a quota of how many such forms they can sign yearly. I pointed out that they have no such quota, it's only Virginia that has a quota, and then he changed the story to say that he refuses to sign it still, since he considers the assault to be trivial. I said, then at least give me the same feedback in writing. He said that since it is going to be the same as what he told on the phone, he refuses to give it in writing also. I suspect this too reeks of a cover-up, like the college adjudicator David Mariscal's bigoted and slipshod decision. I have the email from the head of the Brownsville police chief to prove that Roman Pineda indeed acted like that. The move by Pineda not to sign the document put paid to my U visa application. It is shocking that all this can happen in broad daylight in USA, albeit in an obscure part of the country. This is not the sort of experience that I came to USA for. The precedent it sets is really dangerous. The Sri Lankan guy, an assailant and, if legally proved, A sexual offender, may be teaching American kids now. I request the American media to take an interest in this and shed light and public interest on these incidents, and I request you, the viewer, to link this video everywhere. It may prove useful to prevent a possible future disaster. I am also trying to popularize this among the Indian community, the student community, and am trying to find a pro bono lawyer who will sue the college. Please feel free to contact me and leave comments below.